All right, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. It's a beautiful afternoon here. Sunny, a little bit hot, but still beautiful. And I want to appreciate everyone for joining with us again on the show. This is the Story Time with Darasimi show, and we are happy to be live again uh, after the Children's Day. So this is the first time we are coming online after the Children's Day. So Darasimi and all the children around the world, happy Children's Day to you in arrears. Wish you long life. We wish you impactful living in the name of Jesus. I am your host, Pastor ATM, and I have with me on the show as usual, Darasimi. Darasimi, you are welcome.
Thank you.
All right, can you welcome our people watching us all over the world?
I want to thank you all for coming today. You know it's not really a good time, but I want to thank you and you be blessed in Jesus' name.
Amen. All right. So this is the 12th episode of our review of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And today, by the grace of God, we are going to be discussing the law of empowerment. The law of empowerment. All right, so I'm going to hand over to Darasimi at this point. Darasimi, what do you have for us on today's show?
Today we'll be talking about the law of empowerment.
Yes, please go ahead.
And we'll be thinking about what is the meaning of empowerment. Empowerment is when someone in a position of power makes sure someone follows the rule. So they make sure that people don't break the law and all of that. That's the meaning of empowerment. The person that is in the position of power to make sure people follow the rules. That's the meaning of empowerment. Now, how do you say the law of empowerment? Now, we have some points we would like you to take with you today, and we hope you'll be blessed as we continue. Now, the first one is about, I'm going to first tell you a story before I continue. Henry Ford. Henry Ford was a American revolutionary industry innovator, and he broke the law of empowerment loads of time because whenever somebody is being great in his company, if he fires them because they're going to take the power off him. Because maybe they bring better ideas than him. He fires them and takes all the good people away. He now wants to leave weak people in his company. I know last time I talk about the law of inner circle. He's not putting great people in his inner circle as well. That's even breaking the law of inner circle as well. Um, and that was don't talk about it because when you have power and you're not sharing it, you're not enriching anybody. Because the way you lead well is by not by enriching yourself, but by empowering others. And this is what you mean by when it says only secure leaders give powers to others. This is because this is because people when leaders are insecure of themselves, they are self-conscious, they'll be scared that people take the power away from them. And the only way a great leader can gain authority is by giving power away. But not away like be sharing it to others. That's the only way a great leader can gain authority. And if you don't believe in yourself, there's no way your followers, your audience will be able to believe in it. Because if you are weak, you are self-conscious of yourself, you are insecure, there is no way your audience are supposed to be. Because they follow every step you do. You have like a regular follower now that every time they do exactly. If you fall down from the set, them to the own fall down from the set. So that's how everything. It, like I was teaching about the battlefield of the mind. I talked about how I used when a pilot, there's the leader in front, and there's three people at the back. And if the pilot just, if the pilot just going straight, they will follow straight. And if just crash into a mountain, all of them are going straight at the same time. So all of them will just crash together into something. So the leader is supposed to be somebody that the audience are following all the time. And Henry Ford was not really good at that because, he was insecure of himself. He was self-worth. And the main reason why people do like it because they are self-conscious of themselves, they are insecure and thinking that they don't even want to make people even see you. They want to do everything. And then for this is how he broke it. Because now I'll talk about that later, So when leaders fail to empower others, these are the three main reasons. Number one, and the main point that we're talking about is
Just before you go into that, I like to just add that great leaders are great because of the leaders they produce. Great leaders are great because they empower the people coming behind to also become leader. That's what makes them great leaders. All right. For managers, they build followers, while great leaders build leaders. They build other leaders. They are not afraid that anybody is going to displace them. They are more than willing to build others who are powerful, who are also great in their own space and all. So the 12th law of leadership, law of empowerment, is simply saying that great leaders empower the people behind them to also become great. Now, she's going to talk about the reasons why people may be afraid to actually empower others, or what stops them from empowering others. All right, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much for that very good explanation. Now we'll talk about the barriers to empowerment. And the first one is desire for job security. Now I'm going to read the small part where it says, this is about weak leaders worrying about placing their job for someone else. Maybe someone like a CEO, a manager, anything actually. Even assistants, they are even scared that someone will know all their secrets. To just no, you're supposed to have that. If you want to be a leader, you have to trust people in your inner circle. Now, they think about, what if I work myself out of a job by empowering others, by giving people power? They may ask that my superiors will not recognize my contribution. They will recognize it when you keep raising up leaders. And Pastor XM already said that leaders raise leaders. Yeah, that would say. And it means that as if you keep raising people your colleagues will start seeing that they will see your pattern of achievement, and your leadership will be recognized and rewarded. So this means that don't be insecure of you're just talking about that. You should you should be able to share your power. But when you share your power to others, you'll be able to, how do I say, you'll be able to have people in the next generation. They'll be able to start somebody like you. Like Joshua Selman says in Sand Revival, he said that people that he's raising other Joshua Selman, so that when he dies like this, there will be a lot of more Joshua Selman, there will be even better ones than him. So that's the kind of mindset a leader should have. And this means that if the times you lead always seems to succeed, people will figure out that you are leading them well. When everything all the people that you have taught, all the people you have, disciplined, you have mentored, they say they always come out successful. They always come out with flying colors in everything they do, spiritually, mentally, physically, everything. People will recognize you, and you'll be recognized and rewarded as well. So don't think about what if they don't see your contribution. They will if you keep doing it over and over again. And you cannot work out yourself from the because you are the owner of the organization. You are leading, nobody's leading you. You cannot mentor, but you are the only leading yourself. So that kind of mindset I talk about just someone, that's the kind of what do you call it? That's the kind of mindset you should have. Pastor ATM, would you like to say some things?
Yes. One of the hallmark of a great leader is that they are very secured. They multiply or replicate whatever is inside of them in the people that are following them, and that's why they build other leaders like them. They are not afraid to allow others to fly. They are not afraid to give room to other people for expression. They are never afraid that anyone is going to displace them. In fact, They are more than happy to uh, see their leader, their other leaders they are taking, take over from them, because you are not a great leader until your success, until you build a successor, somebody who can carry on from wherever you stop. But if you have not built somebody who can carry on from wherever you stop, that means you have failed as a leader. So great leaders also build other leaders who are going to succeed and who are going to carry on their vision, carry on their business, their mission in life, even after they are long gone. All right, go ahead, please. Okay, so I can give a number of examples on this, and one of the things I think has been the major problem for maybe a place like Nigeria, where we are in, is that we have uh, people who are in political position, who are in leadership positions, without themselves being great leaders. So eh, there is so much tension, there is so much pressure to secure or to hold on to power, just because they feel once they leave power they become irrelevant. And the reason is because they have failed to build other people, they have failed to build other people who can actually take over from them, or who can actually do what they are doing as effectively as they are doing. But there is a political figure, let me not mention, who is highly respected. In fact, some people have labeled him as the greatest politician, for instance, that has come out of Nigeria. And one of the things that is unique about him, one of the things that is very, very obvious about him, is that for a very long time he has been building people. He has been building and empowering people. Some of his mentees, some of his proteges are governors, have been ministers, have become great people, and is not afraid to allow them to fly. But a time came when he needed to leverage on all of them. They were more than willing to sacrifice their neck, to sacrifice their head, for him to ride upon. So great leaders are not afraid. They are not afraid of, oh, what's going to happen? What if these people turn against me? What if they get me out of the system and all of that? There is that security. They feel secure in themselves. It is not other people that gives them security. They have their security in themselves. That's one of the things that mark them out.
Thank you very much for that good explanation. Sorry for that. Now, the second to the barrier of employment is resistance to change. And I'm going to use that in for the illustration again. He was scared to change because he made this kind of car and it was going worldwide. But after some time, it became olden days and all of that. So people didn't really have interest in it anymore. So everything he worked for just went down. Then people brought more modern ideas for him, but he didn't want to change it. He was like, "This is the car I made. I made it with my own bare hands. I designed it myself. I don't want to take it away for granted like that." So while we went, just the percentage just went back down because he didn't want to change it anymore. And this is why he's talking about the resistance to change. This means that important responsibilities of leaders as leaders is that you must be able to embrace change. You must desire it to make a way for it. You must always want to embrace change. Even you say you might, and effective leaders are always the one that when you yourself even become the change agent because you be the one changing things in your organization and all of that. So that's what you mean by resistance to change. But at that time, and front just gave up and just be like, okay, just give me the more modern dance and again, everything went back up by like 25% of people in the world are now using the Ford car now because they started changing. They change it every time so that people there will be more modern things. So that's what I mean by resistance to change. And as a very good and effective leader, you must be willing to change, to embrace it, and to become change agents as well.
One of the reasons that I've seen that many organizations go to extinct and all of that is because they are afraid, or they are very resistant to bringing in new ideas, to embrace a different way of doing the same thing they have been doing. They come with, oh, this is how we have been doing it all these years. We have been getting results. And when every other person brings an idea that can even triple or double that process they have been going through, they feel very reluctant to be able to embrace it. For instance, maybe an organization that has been doing most of their work analog, or handwritten and all of that, and a young guy coming with an idea to digitize everything and all, they are afraid because that is a new idea. They feel, oh, what if they have all manners of what ifs, fear of that change. They are not willing to embrace it because they are not used to it. This is how they have been doing it, and they just want to stick to that. It's one of the reasons why they easily go out of circulation. All right, let's go ahead.
Yeah, and you can even talk about the Apple what do you call it? The Apple brand. You see how every year they make new iPhones every day. That can be example of empowerment because they keep changing it over and over again. They don't just stick to their olden days, their before they bring new features to the phone. They bring new everything. They have the iPad, they have the AirPod. Somebody brought the idea of the Max, someone that brought the idea of the headphones, someone that brought the idea of the Apple. So the Apple brand can be a good example of empowerment because they keep changing they are even they are even the change agents to the organization. So now the last one is talking about lack of self-worth. And that's why I didn't want to talk about it at the first because talking about people who are insecure. Now, self-conscious people are really good leaders. Why? Because they focus on themselves, worrying how they look, worrying about what other people think, whether they are liked or not. But sometimes, they can't give power to that because they themselves, they don't feel like they have power. You can't give what you don't have. They are scared that you will ultimately say the truth. And Jesus Simon is a very good example because he says the truth no matter what, he says the truth. He doesn't make anybody know. He doesn't worry. He's not a self-conscious leader. He's a good example for a great leader. If somebody was self-conscious, they'll just say what people like. But you can say the truth in a way people like it. Not just giving lies and all of that. No. So self-conscious leaders, they always worry too much. They are worried what they always think about what other people think. Just embrace, and they don't want to change anything about whatever they are doing. And then Ford was a very bad example because he lacked and he broke the law of empowerment loads of time. Well, first because he didn't want to, change the car's design. He didn't want to. Whenever somebody great is doing good in the company, he fires them. He just doesn't want anything to change. So lack of self-worth is really a bad thing. Even in those normal days, ordinary people, lack of self-worth is not a good thing. Being insecure is not a good thing. And all of us has always, all one of us always has issues and cures, but we can all work hard on it and make it better. So that's what we have for today. And the last thing I have to say is that you can't give what you don't have. If you don't have power, you can't give it out. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you don't, what you don't have, you cannot give it out. The first person to empower is yourself. And one of the things you have to empower about yourself is to have that security in yourself, to have that peace in yourself, to have that freedom to be able to bless others, to be able to live for others. Great leaders understand that their existence is not for themselves, but to live for others. They secure that in their heart, in themselves, and then they are now able to transfer that energy to other people. Thank you, everyone, for joining with us on the show today. We are very, very grateful. We hope to see you again next week, Saturday, the same time on this same platform. Just before you go, please ensure that you subscribe to our channel, ensure that you are following us, ensure that you drop a comment and like this post so that other people can also get blessed by it. Thank you, Darasimi, for being on the show with us
No
today.
problem.
See you again the next time. Thank you. Bye.